Sup traders, I've taken a short on pound dollar on the 29th of October on Tuesday after the release of the news at 2 p.m. dollar news at 2 p.m. We've come into, so high time from analysis, we have come into a previous day's high. So Monday's high also happens to be Friday, Thursday and Tuesday from, well, Wednesday from last week. So a lot of highs have been taken out before the entry. 4-hour time frame prediction is that price will come down to this sell side liquidity. However, it has been quite bullish going into the week since we rejected these fair value gaps on the weekly time frame. So we cleared the first fair value gap, and then we came into the second fair value gap and tapped into the start of the second fair value gap, which to me is quite a good area for price to find support, especially going into the end of month after being bearish every single day of the week. It's more than likely that we'll find some retracement towards the end of the month. So that's obviously something to note. And we've got NFP as well coming out at the end of the week. So honestly, price could easily just continue up until NFP and then drop because of the fact that it's the end of the month and we are at some strong point of interest. But however order flow is bearish. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish closes in a row. Last week was strongly bearish. So for me, ideally, I do want to see that sell side liquidity to be taken out, which is also previous week's low. But before we get to that previous week's low, I do understand we've got, we respected this bullish fair value gap on the 250 time frame, came down, took out liquidity, pushed up, again held this fair value gap right here, and pushed up with this bullish engulfing candle, came down, held that order block. Right, so it's not exactly given bearish momentum, but we've come into previous day's high with this channel. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th test of channel. We've held the highs just after the news. We failed to close above these highs multiple times, right? With 1, 2, 3 times in a row, and then we had this pattern where we came down, microstructure shift, with some fair value gaps, and I've entered on the 618 pullback from here to down to this low, and my targets, my stops was up at 0.78, and I'm targeting the Asian low. So let's see how that plays out. So that trade got stopped out. Price came in exactly into the 618 retracement, pushed down, took out that low, and then found support at these fair value gaps below this low, pushed up into that daily time frame order block. We also have this 4-hour sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity right there, but we have come into the daily time frame order block, and the way we've approached that, or approaching that level so far at the moment, to me, with this low wick bullish engulfing candle, is a good sign that we are potentially going to find some kind of a retracement later on. And the way we've approached, again, another channel, so this is another entry for me, and we've come up to these highs, and on the 5-minute we've essentially rejected it with a pin bar, tried to push up with a bullish pin bar, another bullish pin bar, but a bearish one, and then that is immediately followed by a bearish engulfing or bearish close candle, and I've entered somewhere around, I believe, just here at the close of the next candle, because of the fact, well, order flow for me is bearish. I expect price to go down, and I'm seeing signs that it's failing to push up on the lower time frame at a key point of interest. So for me, that's a sign to go short, and I'll be really a lot more confident if this turns into a bearish engulfing candle. That will allow me to at least take the trade until somewhere in the midpoint of this fair value gap. So I'll be watching that 50%. I'll also move my stops to break even, because this could easily be an order block as well, so that's something to consider. But also look how price has come up to those highs on the 15-minute. We closed above, right? We came into previous day's high. First of all, we failed to close above on the 60-minute once. We're putting this bullish engulf pin bar, failed to close above though, however, and then at the moment it looks like we're putting a pin bar after rejecting that daily time frame order block. Let me just get rid of this. We have taken out these highs. We've closed above on the 15-minute, right, just on the previous candle, but it looks like this is going to turn into a bearish engulfing candle, which means technically it's a fake break for me, which is even better. And the better confluence here is the fact that although we closed above on the 15-minute, on the 5-minute it's come up, failed to close above, failed to close above, failed to close above, and then starting to put in some signs that it's going to not continue to push higher. And yeah, that was one of the main reasons for entry, and that gives me more confidence to hold this trade. Just want to show what price did yesterday, Monday, towards the end of the London session, or London close session, right? We came into Friday's high with a channel, and then as we took out that highs, we failed to close above. And then what do we have on the 15-minute? Similar pattern to what we've seen on 5-minute, a pin bar, another pin bar, that bullish pin bar, right, that tried to push price higher, another bullish pin bar that tried to push price higher, but it's a bearish one, but it's it's technically bullish because it's got the lower wick is bigger, and then a bearish candle. And then once I saw that bearish candle, it started to display slower. I didn't take an entry there, however I'm not missing that trade. A similar entry today. Okay, the way price is moving down is very strong. I've taken half my position off around here, which is 1.25 R, which is around 0.663 R. And honestly, I do believe we can come down now. The way price is coming down, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes down to these lows. I'll see how market closes on the 4-hour time frame. Like I said, this bullish engulfing candle that took out liquidity below this bearish candle and then is taking liquidity above this candle is a good sign that price is going to continue lower. But it could also push up first and take out the highs of this and that buy side liquidity before coming down, which is my concern. But apart from that, Tuesday's high, if this is a bearish engulfing candle, man, that is chef's kiss. Let's just see how it plays out. Oh man, I got humbled so quickly. I was so certain this candle was going to be a bearish engulfing candle because it's Tuesday. We've taken out previous day's high. We came into that daily time from order block right there, and yeah, it's just what it is. Can't ever be too confident in a trade. Yeah, can't ever be too confident in a trade. I still believe, right? So obviously, weekly time frame going into the week, I've been bearish. It's just the fact that it's the last day of the month, and I do predict price will close, slightly bullish-ish. If this is not going to close it as a bit of bearish engulfing candle, where the low of the candle is also the close of the candles. So looking at it right now, going into, we've got 2 more days left of the month. We've got tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be another bullish day, and Thursday we'll find some resistance, or maybe tomorrow we'll find some more resistance, push up again, and then finally on Friday we'll find the resistance that the push down that we're looking for. But that will also depend on what NFP comes out as, right? We've got election coming up as well. Is it next week? Yep, it's next week. US election, 5th of November. So that is crazy. Okay. I'll be watching this buy side liquidity tomorrow. If that gets taken out, and probably London session, I'll look for opportunities to go short. We have, like I said, right, we're after bouncing off this weekly time from fair value gap. We've displaced up, held this bullish fair value gaps 50% right there, and then we put in a market structure shift. And then we displaced up again, leaving the bullish fair value gap right there. Came down, held that. Yesterday close, and then bullish engulfing candle, held this order block, came down, wicked below this low, and then pushed up with this bullish engulfing candle. So there were signs that price might not find resistance at that level. So that it makes sense why we're not bearish. I waited for the news to come out, as I was supposed to do. Waited until the news came out. Didn't really provide much information. Entered once here, was wrong, -1% there, and it entered here where I took out I believe overall it was like 0.6% that I made. So at one point I could have made 2R, right, which is crazy, but obviously that's hindsight. Don't really know what's going to happen. I was at least aiming for these or this New York session low. Let's just see what happens tomorrow. I still believe the channel is in play. On the 1 hour time frame, we're failing to close above these highs. We had this candle. Honestly, we've made the move up that we were supposed to after holding these fair value gaps. We haven't left the fair value gap. This candle usually does come towards the end of a trend. So if you're looking at this bullish trend from here to here, this is coming at a key level. So that daily time frame order block, and also this buy side liquidity on the 240, which if the second candle is an inside bar candle, it could potentially push up. The next candle could push up, take out the highs of that candle, and then start displacing lower. Where will it come down to? That I won't aim for these low sell side liquidity, because like I said, it's 2 more days in the month left, and I don't expect price to close with a strong bearish candle where the low is also the close. We don't really get those often, right? If you look at these, that one we had low and the close very close to each other, but yeah, it's quite rare. I say rare, but there's quite a few. There's quite close to the close. It's quite close to the low. Close, quite close to the low. The close is quite close to the low right here as well, right? So yeah, you can't really say. You just play it by how what market gives me and how it reacts. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow.